Hello and welcome to Getting to Know ACS with Tracy and
Jasmine.
And today our special guest is Sharon Brown. She is with the Family Advocacy Program, also known as FAP. So welcome, Sharon. First question out the box is tell us a little bit about what exactly FAP does.
Well, the Family Advocacy Program at Army Community Service is all about taking care of their families with education, resources, and intervention processes. We have 3 different programs within Family Advocacy, which are the New Parent Support, and I believe you guys did a podcast on them already.
Yes.
They're great. They deal with our young families that have 0 to 3 years old. They're actually licensed nurses that help in that area. As well as our victim advocacy services. They're available 24/7, 365 for anyone that needs services related to domestic violence.
Okay.
And the last leg is what I work for, which is the life skill education, the trainers program. We do all of the domestic violence training, child abuse awareness training for all the CDCs and SASs on Fort Bliss, as well as the life skill education. And within the life skill education, we have things like stress management, anger management, getting brain sparks here. Oh, screen-free marriage, our marriage program, relationships, as well as the parenting programs.
Okay.
So there's quite a bit of things that we have within our realm within family advocacy.
Okay, so so basically, like you said, you're education.
Mm-hmm.
So we're education and prevention.
Yes.
As far as ACS side of the house.
That is correct.
Okay, so Jasmine, I think you had a question about.
Yes, if you could tell us the difference between ACS FAP and FAP Clinical.
All right. So there are 2 family advocacies on Fort Bliss, which confuses people a lot. Now, the clinical side of the house is about intervention and assessment. They do the treatment and they do all of the counseling for our families, and it's mandatory for most part. So for those people that have a case that would be considered domestic violence or child abuse, those would go to the clinical side of the house, and they have to have a referral. Now, on our side of the house, excuse me with the mask thing.
I know, it's rough.
On our side of the house, I'm used to being at home without a mask on all day, but on our side of the house, it's strictly intervention. So we give resources, we give the classes. We, in turn, try to make sure you have things in place to prevent you from going to that side of the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I used to say, it's like, you want to come to the good side.
Yes. yes. We want to catch you before you wind up in trouble. Because the majority of the folks wind up at CPS, court ordered, command referred, and we want to make sure that we give them options to help them ahead of time.
Right. And one thing I know you said is that they need a referral to go to FAP Clinical.
Yes.
With us, with FAP, I'm always going to be FAP.
Yes.
But with FAP, ACS FAP, it's voluntary.
Yes.
People sign up beforehand.
Yes.
So if someone calls and says, hey, I got an appointment.
That's normally clinical.
Okay.
Yes.
That's normally clinical side of the house.
Okay. Because although you all are not in the capacity of social work, so you're not counselors per se. You know, even though some of you may have degrees that you're a social worker or a counselor or something like that. That's not your role.
That is
on
not our role.
ACS. So it's strictly education,
Absolutely.
education-wise.
Mm-hmm.
So you had mentioned some of your classes. You said, anger management, stress management, the communication classes, and the parenting classes. So can you kind of give us a synopsis of what those classes entail?
Yeah, for example, our anger management class has 8 tools that we use, and they are sensory anger management. And by the way, all of our classes, our trainers, we are certified to teach these classes, so majority of the time courts will take our classes when we give them a certificate. So the 8 tools of anger management are basically dealing with stress, dealing with responding versus reacting, empathy, the basis, the foundations of why people are angry.
Right.
And so once people learn how to use the tools and build on those, it really makes sense when they have a situation. So we give them the 8 tools to have them have something in place, a tool that can help them in the heat of the moment.
Right. So, one thing, from my experience with anger management, a lot of times when people come to anger management or they just hear the word anger management, they're like, I don't want to take anger management, or I don't need anger management.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of resistance. But then by the end of the class,
Yes.
can you speak on that, how that transformation happens in that anger management class?
Normally, when they come in, they're very resistant and defensive, and we have to make them feel safe.
Right.
And that's what that first day is really all about, giving them the platform to vent, so to speak.
Right.
And then once we find out what they need, we can better assess and apply each tool every time we
Right.
have a class.
I know when I was working as the admin, every time they would call, they were just like, oh, so you're just going to have somebody tell me that I'm angry? And it's like, no, it's actually really fun. And they identify the issues, and they're just like, oh. And I was like, yeah, like you should try it, because I bet you're going to sign up for stress management. And they always come back and sign up for the next one,
And
too.
vice versa.
Yes. Yes.
Because sometimes I know, you may have someone who is in there because they feel like they have an anger problem, or someone has told them they have an anger problem.
Exactly.
But then through the class, you get to the root of it. It's like, it's not really anger. You have stress,
Right.
that's causing you to have those reactions. So, perfect segue. Let's go into stress. What happens in the stress management class?
Stress management is a lot more fun. That's my wheelhouse right there.
She loves stress
we
management.
add so many different, and I'm always researching and studying for stress. So we use it's certified as well. We use the book Everything Stress Management, which has a whole lot of tools. But we add additional tools to support them so that they can do it in the heat of the moment, like different breathing techniques, tapping, EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, which is tapping, and that's dealing with your energy. We do tuning forks, cons of wands, all types of different applications they can do. One of the new ones that I've just added was the emotion code. I love that one.
That's the one.
On the computer?
No, that's the one I did in my office with you.
Oh, that one was so fun.
Emotion code,
Oh my
yes,
gosh, yes.
yes.
That one.
So, and it's just been different because all of our classes, by the way, we're not doing them in person right now.
Right.
We have started doing them on MS Teams the beginning of the year. It's going well. However, a lot of the hands-on the people in the classes, they get to watch me.
Right.
So, and then they're interested though, but in the actual class, when we do start back, after the COVID has subsided quite a bit and we go back to being in person,
Right.
They will get to do the hands-on adult coloring books, puzzles. We even paint rocks
Yes.
and do different crafts. Because in stress management, it's all about giving them tools that can help them with their education style.
Right. Exactly.
And so,
So to clarify, though, once we do open back up, they can enroll again to experience the
most
in-person
certainly.
classes?
Yes,
Okay,
they can sign up.
That's good.
So, and I think that was one of the things about stress is because it is such a hands-on. But I think Jasmine was mentioning this earlier, where because they don't know that they're missing the hands-on, that they still are so excited
Yes.
after that stress management, after they've gone through the stress management class with you guys on Teams.
Yes.
So, and I'm gonna put you on the spot because that's what I like to do. So, can you give us like a little demonstration of, or best you can, either a breathing technique, or maybe can you show us what a tap-in session, what would go through on that? Either one.
Okay, no spot, no pressure.
No pressure.
It's kind of hard to do with a mask on, but that's okay. I'll make it work.
Okay.
And so for tapping, what it is for EFT is basically working with your meridians, and it's your energy center. And we have the 8 different points that we use. And so the first point that we would talk about is your karate chop point. That's where your setup would happen. It's located
Follow through.
right in between your baby finger where that little dent is.
Yes.
That's where you want to chop or tap, actually. And so that first point would be where you would give your MPI, what I call it, your most pressing issue,
Okay.
and talk about, you know what, my job is stressing me out. And you repeat after me. My job is stressing me out.
My job is stressing me out.
There is so much stress doing this video right now.
There's so much stress doing this video right now.
Driving in El Paso drives me nuts.
Driving in El Paso drives me nuts.
And so that what you're trying to do with tapping is be able to allow yourself to give an outlet. And so having that most pressing issue to begin with allows you to deal with certain things. That first point that you are working with is basically your kidney point.
Oh.
And so when you're dealing with each meridian area, which are your eyebrow, side of eye, under the eye, under your nose, tap, and under your mouth, your collarbone, under your arm, and the top of your head. Each one, the monkey spot. And so each area allows you to hit those acupressure points, because it's a combination of Western medicine and Chinese acupressure. And so that's why we use tapping as a stress reliever. There's all kinds of different applications you can use it for. And now they've actually incorporated where you don't have to actually tap. You can rub that spot. So a lot of times I will rub the eyebrow or the side of eye, and or else if in my car, instead of tapping on my hand, I'll just rub my hand, because that allows your energy centers to become unblocked, so to speak.
And sometimes you can even do just the fingers.
Yes, the fingers.
And just do like that.
And that's more of reflexology, and we teach that as well.
See.
And I want to clarify, too, because I know some people who have never done this, they're thinking, these people are crazy.
No.
Like, what are they into? But as I've seen, when people do it, I don't know what happens, but they tap into their emotions, and you're just like...
That is exactly what it is.
It's like, what happened?
It is energy in motion, and you take the energy of the emotions and you actually release them. And that's why you do the tapping. As well as some of the other things that we do, like the tuning forks, and there's so many other things, Kanza wands that we utilize.
Meditation.
We definitely do meditation. And most people have that all wrong too. It's not about being quiet and sitting there, not saying, it's being able to allow yourself to sit in the moment and be present. And so that's hard for a lot of people. And when they do that, I give them the breathing techniques. I'll give them the 2 technique where you just breathe in through your nose for 2, hold it, breathe out for 2. And so it's just, that's a very simple one. But we have over 50 that I actually use and alternate between. And so we kind of give them various levels of breathing techniques to help them do that. So you can tell I just love that. That used to be my least favorite thing, but I love stress management now. She was very resistant.
So I'm actually going to sign up once we are back in person, because I'm just like, I need to experience all this.
You really do. It is so awesome, and you got to make sure. Anyway, I'm not going to say all that. But another thing that you guys do is communication. So can you kind of tell us what happens in those communication classes? Absolutely.
So the couples communication, we just had a series of that. We'll have another one coming up soon. And within that one, we have what we call the pre-relation education program, the PrEP, as well as the 5 love languages. So we combine several different trainings within one. Because couples communication is the foundation and bedrock for any good relationship, be it married or not. And so we're finding that people are finding that useful, as well as our screen-free marriage program. And so with couples communication, it's all about giving them the tools to be able to talk to each other in a way that doesn't offend the other person.
And I think, especially since this is being taught to our military families, sometimes the spouse can't come, or or the military member can't come to the class. Can they still sign up even if they're coming by themselves? And what we've noticed now with MS Teams is the fact that we have the spouse that will be there at home with the kids, and the other partner, the military member, will be in the parking lot at work. I love. So that's a benefit to that. That is a benefit. We see that a lot now. I even had one in the field. Okay.
that was logging in. He kept dropping off. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, I'm in the field, Miss Brown. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay, but he was there.
Just do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And so that is a benefit. And I believe, and talking to leadership, we'll probably want to continue in doing MS Teams as well as in person when we go back.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it'll be a combination,
Yeah.
like a hybrid type thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's good because, you know, like you said, it gives them the opportunity to be able, because
Absolutely.
it's like if they can come in on their lunchtime and attend the class
Yes.
versus where the class in person is like an all-day class.
Right,
So-
right. And right now, all of our classes are a series of 8 sessions through the month.
Okay.
So like April, it would be 8 sessions for any class that you take. They're all an hour and a half. The morning sessions start at 10 to 11:30,
Okay.
and the afternoons, and you know, it's just a matter of pick the time that you need, the class that you need, and sign up for that.
Okay, and so you said sign up. So how can they go about signing up for
They
the
will
classes?
be able to go and register under the MWR website, and they
Okay.
have the links all available there. If you just go in and Bliss MWR and then the Family Advocacy Program, all of the registration is there, or they can contact ACS directly through the FAP program at 915-568-9129.
Okay.
That's 568-9129, and they will have them sign them up directly.
Okay, so there's plenty of options.
Yes.
So now I will have to say, as far as Facebook pages, your page is probably one of the most active pages, the FAP Facebook page, because you guys, you come out with a lot of, you know, motivational things. So I just wanted to mention to make sure they check out your Facebook page as well.
Yes.
Go on there and like that page, because you have motivational quotes that you put on there. You'll do like stress-free type things and how to deal with your kids and all that stuff. So
Yes. And we did that deliberately because, you know, we've been running it, I believe, since 2015.
right.
And we wanted to make sure that everything we connect in there is all about, you know, okay, how can we motivate people? How can we inspire people to be better?
Right.
And so we just try to keep it in that lane and post a little bit every day.
Right.
And then just go from there. So it's been a welcome, you know, type thing to do. And so with that, it's the Fort Bliss Family Advocacy Program.
Yes.
Okay.
So yes.
And it's nice because I feel like on regular social media, like mine, the world is so negative, right? So you see, you know, FAPs, and I'm just like, you know what, you are right. I don't care. Like, I don't have to care what people think. And then I'm just like, let me log off because I'm getting a little angry.
And we try to give a little quote in there for anger, for stress, for
Right.
marriage, for anything, just to boost people up.
Yeah, because it is all about, you know, being able to have that positivity in your life. And like you were saying, Jasmine, on social media, you get so much negativity, and to be able to go to that page and know that there's going to be something positive, you know, to kind of get me out of that negative mindset.
And we make sure we never have anything on there that's down. There's no news, nothing else. It's all.
Yeah,
all something.
sometimes you be telling people about themselves, and I'm like, I don't need this today.
And those are the quotes that we put on there to empower people, because some people, they need a fire. They need a fire.
Okay. And so now another thing that I know you guys do is you have, you'll usually do like a couple events a year.
Yes.
So can you tell us about those big events that Family Advocacy puts on throughout the year?
Absolutely. We often, twice a year, April is the month of the military child. And so that's our Child Abuse Awareness Month.
Right.
As well as October is our Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So we always try to have an event for each campaign.
Right.
For the Child Abuse Awareness Month, we often have our MACASA. It's in its 16th year. Last year was the first time in 16 years we did not have it because of COVID.
Right.
This year is going to be a smaller event, but it stands for the month of the military child abuse and sexual assault. We usually have a walk event.
Right.
But this year it's just going to be a smaller one. The MACASA event will take place in a couple of weeks.
Okay. So it's usually just like like you said, there's always going to be something going on in April for that.
Absolutely.
So you'll have, I know pre-COVID, that you do information tables, that
Yes.
type of things, and
Yes.
we'd be visible throughout
Yes.
post to just make people aware of, that it is the month of the military child, but it's also the month for child abuse awareness as well.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you said in October, that's when you all focus on domestic violence.
Yes.
And, we did have our victim advocate, one of the victim advocates, come in and speak. But it's good to focus that month. And so throughout the month, again, you'll do different activities
Different
that
activities, yes.
focus on that.
We've had everything in the past from conferences, and we've had prom night for couples.
Yes.
Yeah,
that
remember
was a fun one.
and we've had different events. It's just going to be different as we come out
Right,
of this.
because you've had guest speakers.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
often have that. And so the Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we've had plays come to Fort Bliss.
Right.
So it's going to be different as we come back and make sure that we have it be creative
Right.
as well as informative,
Right.
because that's the main thing.
Exactly. They're all touchy subjects, but just because it's touchy doesn't mean, it's kind of like, I won't say it's touchy, but it's subjects that people don't really want to talk about or they're uncomfortable talking about. And so I think the way that you guys present it makes it's like, okay, I can talk about it and it doesn't have to be so serious, but I get the seriousness of it. So I appreciate that you guys do that in FAP. So is there anything that you feel like I didn't ask or that you want to talk about to let the people know that FAP is doing, or what's going on with you guys?
We are here for all of our community, be it retirees, active duty, family members, dependents. We service the entire community. We want people to understand that our services are here as resources. Never be afraid to call or contact our victim services.
Right.
They're available 24/7. Never be afraid to contact us from Life Skills Education because what we do is we try to tailor everything to the community. Right now, we're working on a smaller scale. We want to advance that a little bit more. So we have things like Franklin Covey training that we can do for the community as well.
Right.
Team building training we'll probably start doing on MS Teams. And so it's not just about those segmented classes that we have. Say, for instance, if a unit wanted to have a stress management class, they can contact us and say, hey, we have 80 soldiers. We want to have it in our area. It'll be socially distanced. Well, we can do it on MS Teams.
Right.
And so that's going to be available for people as well. And I don't think people know that enough.
Right.
That the classes that we have are available for them. Commanders, first sergeants, training NCOs, contact us. Let us know what you need. If you need a team building exercise, we can establish that for you.
Right.
Because we have the training to do that.
Right.
And so we just want that out there.
And then, you mentioned about the units. So I think it's important that you mentioned about the domestic violence
Absolutely.
annual training that is mandatory
Absolutely.
for them.
So our domestic violence awareness training is an annual requirement, and it ends every fiscal year, which is by October 1st. All units are required to take the training, all active duty soldiers of domestic violence, the 1-hour training annually every year. Right now, Tyrone McDuffie is actually the team lead. He's signing everyone up for the domestic violence training, as well as Nicole Robertson. And so with that, we need people to contact them. I know they're doing the op order right now.
Right.
But even without the op order, the regulation per AR 608-18 requires every commander to ensure that their soldiers are trained.
Right.
So again, AR 608-18.
Look it up.
It's not our gospel, it is the Army's gospel. So this is Army-wide. It's not something new.
Right.
And so that is something that soldiers need to know. They have to have that training.
Right, and it's not something that's specific to Fort Bliss. It just is wherever you go, you're supposed to be getting that annual domestic violence training.
And I would really implore the commanders to get their units signed up now because as we move forward, the team that we have, there's 3 of them that will actually and that's Tyrone McDuffie, Ms. Nicole Robertson, and Moraine Webb. They are actually going out doing the training, or they've actually been doing it on MS Teams.
Right.
So that has been an added benefit. So the units we don't have to have logistics issues. they can do it right there on MS Teams, wherever they're located.
Right. And they can, if they need to schedule that unit training, they can still call that FAP admin number.
Yes.
Which was
568-9129.
Yeah, because I don't know it.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, Jasmine, do you have any questions that you want to ask Sharon?
No, I don't have anything else.
Okay, because I think we're definitely going to have you come back on. Just to specifically just do some stress management, because I think everybody could benefit from that. And so one of the questions that I like to ask everybody before they leave is, what brings you joy?
Actually, I've been in this area over 10 years. Out of my entire career, this has been, I guess my job is just such a big joy.
Yeah.
And
Okay, so I guess let me rephrase that, because I didn't really ask that right. You messed me up, Jasmine.
Blame Jasmine.
Okay, exactly. I'll just blame her. What brings you joy in working in family advocacy? Let's be specific. What's something that,
The joy I get out of what I do is seeing the people that I affect that came in negative, and they light up when they leave.
Yes.
And they want more.
And then they'll be like, I want Miss Sharon to tum.
And I'm like, no, you can't have my phone number, because they can I get your private number? No.
Because Sharon has a lot of little surrogate children now.
When they used to chase me through the halls, it used to I used to get nervous, because I'm like, why are they here looking for me? What do they want? And it's like, oh my goodness, they want more.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I think that speaks volumes that, you are one of the sought out instructors. People want to follow you. I used to call them, groupies, so you're like a rock star. But again, Sharon, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us the things that are in family advocacy, and how family advocacy is here to help all of our whole community that we have out here. So
yes,
we'll definitely have you come back. And so I think Jasmine has some announcements. She's getting ready to do a lot of talking.
Right.
Oh, gosh. I need a stress management class now. No, I'm just kidding. So what came out today, guys, is the Bliss Now magazine for the quarter. And look what's in there.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
I feel so famous, but it's fine. So yes, so make sure you grab one and check it out.
Yes.
Okay.
So, this one.
And then don't forget, this is Tracy and Tracy
and Jasmine
signing out for Getting to Know ACS.
Yes, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell to get notifications.
And you have something else we want them to remember about us. Facebook.
Oh, yes. Sorry, there's so much happening. So we just got our Facebook account and our Instagram, Getting to Know ACS. So look us up and follow us.
Yes, and like our pages. So
yes.
Until next time, this is Tracy
and Jasmine.
Bye.